Live from Jakarta International Velodrome, MPL Indonesia Season 15 is powered by Moonton. Supported by Esports Federation of Indonesia. Presented by official tournament smartphone Samsung Galaxy. Official e-wallet GoPay. Official sponsor Head & Shoulders. Official coffee Good Day. We own this.
Fans, selamat datang kembali di babak playoff MPL Indonesia Season 15. Di mana kita berada di final lower bracket. Ini adalah sistem yang baru di mana best of 7 dipertarungkan untuk kedua tim yang sedang berjuang untuk mencari satu tempat terakhir. Hanya ada satu tim saja di antara tim Mararki Hosi dan juga Geek Fam yang bisa melaju ke babak grand final dan juga menjadi perwakilan Indonesia di babak MSC at IWC Riyadh. Siapa yang tak ingin, siapa yang tak haus akan hal itu. Tentu saja kita melihat bahwa dua tim yang akan bertarung hari ini punya histori yang sangat panjang. Dan mengingat bahwa season ini menjadi season yang baik untuk mereka di regular season. Top 2, mereka berangkat dari babak upper bracket. Mereka bernapas lega di hari-hari awal, namun pada akhirnya Geek Fam awalnya harus turun, berjuang perlahan dari lower bracket. Sedangkan RRQ kemarin pun harus merasakan pahitnya kekalahan dan harus merasakan lower bracket pula. Dan ini akan membuat kita menyaksikan dalam best of 7 yang menarik. Mereka akan merasakan lower bracket dengan sistem yang baru. Namun kalau kita melihat juga berkaca dari regular season, Geek Fam belum bisa mendapatkan kemenangan atas RRQ. Dan ini menjadi sebuah tantangan besar bagi tim Geek Fam di season 15. Sedangkan dari tim RRQ, kali ini kita melihat bahwa RRQ konsistensinya mulai goyah sedikit. Dan ini juga harus menjadi jawaban atas keraguan beberapa super fans yang mulai melihat bahwa RRQ harus bisa langsung membuktikan diri. Dan sebelum kita melihat bagaimana aksi dari kedua tim, Budi juga melihat bahwa antusiasme yang ada di Jakarta International Velodrome, yang ada di rumah juga, yang ada di festival, dan tentunya semua antusias ini dan juga semua semangat ini tidak lekang dari dukungan para sponsor dan partner. Karena MPL Indonesia Season 15 powered by Moonton, supported by PBSI, presented by official tournament smartphone Samsung Galaxy, official e-wallet GoPay, official sponsor Head & Shoulder, official coffee partner Good Day, dan partner ini sports ada Telkomsel, Dunia Games, dan IndiHome. Bersama dengan advertiser Kacang Sukro dan juga Hawkband. Tak lupa pula supplier kita ada RSV Helmet, lalu UBS Gold, Kila Food, Royal Guard, Merton Merah Putih, dan Imaginary serta venue ini Jakarta International Velodrome. Dan banyak sekali tentunya harap-harapan besar. Mengingat ini adalah best of 7 yang menarik. Di mana kalau kita melihat hasil track record kedua tim, RRQ berada di best of 7, mereka harus bisa menjawab tantangan karena dari historinya mereka tidak mendapatkan hasil yang cukup baik dari best of 7 yang telah mereka lalui. Dan bagaimana untuk Geek Fam sendiri memperjuangkan internasional ini? Kita akan ngobrol-ngobrol lebih banyak, tentunya Budi nggak akan sendiri. Karena ada satu coach yang bisa dibilang kita kenal betul. Namun ia juga sudah punya slot untuk MSC IWC. Berada non jauh di sana, kali ini kita terhubung bersama dengan Coach Sis.
Halo.
Halo Coach
Halo
Sis.
semua.
Hai. Coach Sis lagi ada di mana nih?
Lagi di Jakarta sekarang.
Kenapa kita online ya Coach Sis ya?
Oh, Kalau besok datang offline lah langsung.
Oke, kemarin datang, hari ini lagi di rumah, besok. Oke, tapi congratulations bersama dengan tim Flash menuju ke MSCWC. Gimana sih untuk perjuanganmu sampai bisa ngedapetin tiket itu, Ziz?
Sebenarnya lumayan sulit juga sih, karena tim kita juga ada beberapa XP lane kan. Kemarin Diablo juga lagi ada masalah keluarga juga kan, jadi kayak kita harus pakai XP lane yang baru juga dari gak segampang itu, tapi ya amin lah kita menang dan dapat slot di WC.
Banyak tantangan tapi mereka bisa mengatasinya dan pada akhirnya hasil baik mereka dapatkan. Tapi kalau Bude yakin Zeus itu masih nonton MPL Indonesia pasti dong. Gimana ngelihat babak
Pasti banget.
playoff ini? Apakah sesuai dengan prediksi dan sesuai dengan mungkin pandangan Coach Zeus?
Kalau top 3 tim ini kayak memang top 3 tim ini memang kuat sih, kuat semua sih. Cuman kaget aja Onyx kuat sekarang ya. Cuman gigi banget sih Onyx sekarang.
Onyx-nya ya, yang di playoff ini kayaknya beda ya, mode playoff. Tapi ada yang menarik, kita akan menampilkan sesuatu bersama karena ini akan menjadi topik yang pasti Zeus happy banget. Karena inilah dia, kita akan membahas, DNA EVOS rupanya merasuki 6 tim yang masuk ke dalam babak playoff. Dan gak cuma ini juga ya, DNA EVOS juga ada di Zeus. Gimana Coach Zeus melihat adanya ex-EVOS players yang bertebaran di tim-tim babak playoff ini dan mereka sepertinya bersinar?
Menurut gua kan dari dulu kan kalau kita scouting pemain dan ke EVOS itu udah pasti gak gagal sih sama sekali, dan saya benar bangga banget sama pemain-pemain yang ini udah pernah masuk ke EVOS dan sekarang sukses semua sih. Kayak pemain-pemain ini kayak dari Susujin, Anavel, Makers, Dreams, Hijume, Willy sama Kai itu memang menurut gua pemain yang top tier banget dan mereka di tim manapun juga pasti sukses terus.
Oke, tapi ngelihat ini mungkin banyak yang kaget ya. Ada Kairi, ini waktu itu di Filipina ya.
Iya.
Iya, dan ternyata banyak banget nih nama-nama yang mungkin kita nggak duga ternyata ada DNA EVOS-nya. Dan kalau Coach Jay sendiri melihat, ada 2 jungler yang akan bertarung sesaat lagi. Jungler ex-EVOS, ada Suzujin dan juga Make It yang akan berhadapan satu sama lain. Ini gimana sih ngelihat kedua player ini di dalam timnya? Impact apa yang mereka berikan?
Jadi ini yang beda sih. Kalau Susujin itu mungkin sekarang karena dia lebih awal kan dibanding sama Make-It-nya, jadi pasti pengalamannya lebih jauh lah Susujinnya. Tapi kalau Susujinnya menurut gue dia lebih ke pemain yang suka main kayak charter gitu, kayak lebih calculate ya. Tapi kalau Make-It itu lebih ke mekaniknya pasti di atas Susujin. Yang bedanya.
Jadi memang ada spesifikasi tersendiri ya, ada perbedaan yang jelas banget berarti di kacamata Zeus.
Ya, jelas banget. Mereka ada specialty masing-masing lah yang beda-bedanya.
Oke, ini specialty yang membuat timnya juga playstyle-nya berarti berbeda juga ya dari kedua tim ini ya?
Lumayan beda sih sebenarnya, lumayan beda sih. Tapi kalau saya lihat di Geek Fam itu kuncinya benar-benar di Baloi sih, karena walaupun ada pemain baru yang masuk ke Geek Fam, pemain itu juga tetap bisa bersinar banget karena di Iron sama Baloi.
Baloi Effect kalau di
Baloi Effect.
Benar, kalau kita bahas lagi tadi udah sebut Baloi, berarti bisa dibilang ini trio mid di MPL juga jadi salah satu mungkin hot topic kita. Kita akan ngebahas juga bareng Zeus lebih dalam lagi karena trio mid yang ada di MPL, khususnya yang akan bertarung pula, ini akan spesial banget 3 besar. Kalau ngeliat trio mid yang ada di MPL, gimana sih ngeliat trio mid dari 3 tim ini?
Wah, trio mid ini, wah, tiga tim semua kuat banget sih sebenarnya. Cuma kalau harus pilih satu ya, kayaknya tetap paling konsisten trio mid itu, paling serem itu kayaknya tetap punya Onyx dah.
Wah, kenapa tuh?
Itu Suns-nya sekarang lagi benar-benar on fire banget. Apalagi sekarang meta Kimi kan. Kimi udah balik ke meta mid dan itu juga hero yang dipegang sama Suns dari zaman dulu, dari season berapa ya? Season MDL season 1 udah pegang Kimi banget.
Oke, jadi ini tergantung dari hero-nya. Ketika ada hero yang memang condong ke sebuah tim, tim itu yang akan lebih bersinar. Atau ada hal lain, misal chemistry, atau gameplaynya, atau apanya gitu.
Chemistry pasti naruh banget sih. Tapi kalau saya lihatnya kayak Onyx itu, kan mereka udah pernah menang banyak kan. Dan mereka juga trio mate itu gak pernah ganti dari season, berapa ya? Season 10 ya? Season 9 ya?
Ya udah lama
Gak
banget.
pernah ganti sama sekali, udah lama banget. Jadi chemistry pasti klop banget. Dan mereka pernah down kan season kemarin. Dan sekarang kayaknya mereka bener panas banget nih buat mau buktikan mereka masih trio mate yang paling terkuat di Indonesia atau mungkin di dunia sih kayaknya.
Wow, di dunia, di Indonesia dan bahkan dunia untuk tim Onyx. Berarti nomor 2-nya yang mana nih? Bisa dikasih tahu nggak?
Nomor 2-nya kayaknya mungkin di Indo atau di dunia nih?
Di Indo dulu nih, untuk di Indo
Di Indo
yang
dulu ya?
dari 3 tim ini.
Kayaknya masih punya RQ dah.
Oke, apakah ada alasan tersendiri menempatkan RQ di posisi nomor 2 dan Geek Fam di nomor 3?
Karena Geek Fam itu masih baru kan, mereka masih baru clock sama Make It 1 season doang. Dan RQ itu udah berapa season ya, dan Rin sama Edok juga dari MDR dulu kan, jadi chemistry mereka udah clock banget, cuma masukin switching 2 season, jadi harusnya dari pengalaman dan dari ya outgame-nya juga pasti lebih kuat sih.
Oke, memang dari perjalanan, dari historinya, berarti Zeus melihat dari banyak aspek dan menempatkan 3 tim itu sebagai posisinya gini. Tapi kalau ngebahas, tadi kan Indonesia, kalau kita sekarang ngebahas lebih ke skala global Zeus, Indonesia dengan performanya sampai di playoff ini, bagaimana nih dari pandangan Zeus untuk perjalanan tim Indonesia di MSC at IWC Riyadh?
Kayak Indo bisa udah pasti top 2 lah. Kalau menurut gue sebenarnya kalau Indo sekarang mungkin kalau M6 kemarin ya chance buat Indo menang lebih gede dibanding sama EWC ini. Tapi kalau menurut gue paling bersinar buat menangin EWC ini sebenarnya Onyx sih. Mereka bener panas kan ya. Kayak sekarang mereka bener main bagus banget.
Oke, ini harapan besar tentunya ya. Kalau ngelihat dari Onyx udah sangat kuat, tapi tadi kan bilang bisa top 2. Ini top 2-nya kalau Zeus lihat apakah pesaing terbesar masih Philippines atau ada Malaysia sebagai defender champion musim lalu atau mungkin Singapura?
Kayak masih tetap Philippines. Tapi menurut gue yang beda sekarang itu kayak Philippines sama Myanmar ya. Itu yang bahaya.
Myanmar
yang bahaya.
Oke, ini kontainer yang mungkin kita lihat masih underdog tapi sudah mulai disebut dari beberapa orang bahwa Myanmar bisa jadi satu region nih yang harus diwaspadai. Dan Zeus, kalau itu kan nanti kita akan bertemu juga, pasti Zeus sudah gak sabar ketemu tim Indonesia dong. Untuk di MSC nih, kita akan bertemu. Satu tim Onyx sudah ngedapetin slot. Bagaimana dengan nih Geek Fam atau RRQ yang kira-kira akan menemani Onyx dan menjadi perwakilan Indonesia, Zeus? Oke. Dan kayaknya Zeus bakal jawab nanti ya. Katanya rahasia. Dia nggak mau kasih tahu, dia langsung kabur sebelum ngasih tahu itu. Zeus, kamu kabur ya, Bunda akan kejar jawabanmu. Tapi memang Zeus tidak menjawab, tapi tentunya akan ada yang menjawab lebih dalam lagi tentang persaingan kedua tim ini yang begitu ketatnya. Kita tahu Geek Fam banyak sekali nama membawa nama Geek Fam. Banyak yang menyebut Geek Fam akan menjadi kontender kuat di season 15. Namun RRQ pun demikian. Banyak sekali mata memandang sebagai dream team, sebagai tim yang benar-benar membuktikan konsistensinya. Dua tim ini harus bisa melampaui batas. Mereka harus bisa memenangkan match ini supaya bisa mendapatkan tiket untuk MSC at IWC. Ditambah menjadi grand finalis di season yang ke-15. So, super fans, are you ready? Bendera sudah berkibar, sorak-sorai dari Superfans sudah berkumandang. Semuanya bersiaplah. Inilah dia, final lower bracket best of 7 antara RRQ Hoshi dan Geek Fam.
It's the last call for the passengers of both Geek Fam and RRQ to book their tickets on towards MSC 2025 in the EWC in Riyadh. It is the battle of the Kings of Kings against the King Slayers. RRQ Hoshi against Geek Fam in this edition of the MPLID Season 15 Lower Bracket Finals. I'm here, myself realized, with my amazing panelists. We have Arashi Hoshi, we have Cole Leaves, Royal Guardman, and we have Chefin.
Chef Fam.
Chef Fam.
Miss you.
All right.
Chef Fam.
How are you guys doing?
Pretty good, considering that we're gonna see a beat down here for my team.
For your team, exactly. We're gonna beat down your team.
Ah,
Wait, okay, let's make it clear. Your team is looking for that MSC ticket.
Yes,
Your
sir.
team is also fighting for that MSC ticket. My team, obviously, is in MSC.
Nobody asked.
Coleus.
Irrelevant.
What about your team? Do you have a team specifically?
I don't think so, because I'm a nationalism person.
Ah.
Supporting all of the Indonesian team.
wow.
His team is Indonesia, bro.
Yeah,
He
my
bleeds-
team is Indonesia.
See, we bleed red. He bleeds red and white.
That is very, very nice. Very good. But obviously we have projections today because it'll be the first time since, I think, quite some time. Even it was the first time ever in MPLID that we will have a best of 7. It's the lower bracket finals.
Yes, sir.
Talking to you, Coleus, obviously, what do you think will be the changes to the players mentally if we want to play a best of 7 in the lower bracket finals?
Ooh, I think it's gonna be a long day for them. About the
Yeah.
mentality, about the stamina for them. And we're gonna see later about the history of RQ when they
Yeah.
play on the best of 7 series.
I don't like that. It doesn't sound pretty well.
Yeah.
But today's schedule, as scheduled, RRQ Hoshi against Geek Fam. We will be playing that best of 7. So a 4-0 might happen, or even better, a 4-3, and we'll play all 7 series.
And this is a playoffs bracket we've seen from day number 1. Onyx beating Team Liquid ID. Altrigo with the reverse, with the underdog performance to take out Bigatron, sending Mirko into the Shadow Realm. And then afterwards, RRQ got it done. Going up against Onyx, who did beat Geek Fam. And yesterday, unfortunately, they were unable to do so. And then now, finally, today, RRQ against Geek. Best of 7, man. It's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, I think it's best of 7. The biggest part of this kind of series is how they're gonna adjust. And I think Cascute, they have a bit more airtime, I guess. In a best of 7, he was in the grand finals in season 14, and that brings me a bit of worry, I guess, because this is gonna be a long, drawn-out battle, especially in the drafting phase, as we've seen. Even in the best of 5, it's already hard. Imagine best of 7.
And both of them are the strongest team. If
Yeah.
you look at the regular season bracket, the RQ and Geek Fam is the number 1 and 2nd, right?
Yeah. Yes. So this is like them just killing each other. They were the first ones who were able to get the upper bracket in playoffs. But now we want to listen to Alyssa on the team arrival. So Alyssa, who will you be kidnapping today? Alyssa, hello.
Sama Alisa masih backstage karena Alisa sedang menunggu kehadiran dari Geek Fam. Karena kita akan melihat di hari yang keempat ini adalah final lower bracket di mana satu slot untuk mewakili Indonesia di MSC 2025 akan diperebutkan. Wow, sudah hadir. Kayak kita culik Make It sekali ya kali ini. Kita tanya-tanya dikit our rookie of the season. Di mana Make It? Oh, oke. Hai Make It. Apa kabar hari ini?
Baik,
Cukup deg-degan gak nih? Karena hari ini sebenarnya salah satu penentuan paling krusial.
enggak biasa aja.
Oh, biasa aja. Kenapa tuh? Menurut kamu memang best of 7 ini nggak membuat takut kah melawan RRQ?
Main-main aja ada Arthur soalnya.
Oh, kenapa tuh kalau ada Arthur?
Ya mainnya tenang aja, sama-sama tenang soalnya.
Oke, mainnya sama-sama tenang ya. Dan menurut kamu sendiri kalau best of 7 ini yang lebih dibutuhkan tuh mental atau strategi sih sebenarnya?
Dua-duanya, tapi paling pertama mental.
Mental dulu ya. Kenapa tuh?
Enggak apa-apa, mental aja.
Main pilih mental aja. Oke, Make It. Kalau kamu sendiri kan udah dinobatkan nih menjadi rookie of the season kemarin. Dan tapi sayangnya sampai saat ini belum berhasil nih membawa satu tiket lagi untuk Geek Fam. Gimana nih menurut kamu? Apakah ada hal yang berbeda dalam hari ini untuk akhirnya membawa Geek Fam menuju MSC?
Ya itu rezekinya sama yang di atas aja, diatur. Jadi kita kasih yang terbaik aja sih match ini.
Oke, do your best and let gas do the rest ya. Oke, ada nggak sih hal yang pengen kamu nantikan dalam perjumpaan melawan Sutsujin?
Good luck Evan aja sih. Nggak ada apa-apa. Jadi ya main-main aja.
Main-main aja, good luck and have fun. Good luck and have fun juga pastinya buat Geek Fam dan Make Kids. Yang kita akan menunggu dan melihat satu slot siapakah yang akan memilikinya antara Geek Fam ataukah RRQ dalam perjumpaan hari ini. So kita akan lihat di match hari ini, final lower bracket antara RRQ melawan Geek Fam.
Thank you, Alyssa. And that was May Kids, the smiling jungler. He wants to book a matchup against Arthur or Sutsujin. But now, speaking of May Kids specifically, as a fam, Chefin, or Chef Fam, how would you rate May Kids' performance in the playoffs?
In the playoffs, I gotta say at the very least, if you were being generous, an 8 out of 10. And it's amazing because he's a rookie, right? We expected him to be a bit more, maybe like under the weather, or maybe just not really, I guess like the pressure is gonna get to him, but for not just Make It, for the whole team of Geek Fam, especially for the rookies and the one or the players that's less experienced, they're amazing. Dobbs was, making moves on his own. Kanziski carrying Geek Fam, especially against Alter Ego. So I'm very confident with the way they're gonna play here against RQ.
Yeah, and he didn't start at this point. If you look at the first half of regular season, he tried to find the chemistry between the Make Kids and Aboy and of course the Baloyski,
Yeah.
the trio mid lane. But now he's gonna play on the lower bracket finals.
That's going to be an amazing feat. But now it's going to be Alyssa again welcoming the RRQ players. So Alyssa, take it away.
Kembali lagi bersama Alisa Natali, pastinya masih di Backstage Ambil Indonesia Season 15 di babak playoff. Karena Alisa lagi menunggu kehadiran dari raja dari segala raja RRQ yang hari ini akan mempertaruhkan satu slot terakhir menuju MSC melawan Geek Fam. Dan wow, sudah hadir bersama kita di sini. Kayak kita kalau tadi udah culik Make It, kita culik Sutsujin kali ya kali ini. Gimana ya, Sujin? Oke, hai Sutsujin. Apa kabar hari ini?
Baik.
Oke, Sutsujin, hari ini kita akan best of 7 dan ini satu kesempatan terakhir untuk memperlukan MSC. Seperti apa nih hari ini persiapannya?
Ya dari persiapan kurang lebih diri sendiri sih. Jadi kita lebih disiplin aja nanti mainnya.
Oke, kalau BO7 ini kamu lebih memperhatikan mentalkah atau strategi sih yang sebenarnya lebih penting?
Mungkin lebih ke mental. Soalnya kalau strategi berjalan pun tapi mental di stage-nya goyah gitu-gitu ya percuma juga.
Oke, kita akan melihat dan tadi sempat kita ngobrol-ngobrol sama Make Kids. Katanya dia tenang-tenang aja karena hari ini ada Arthur. Menurut kamu gimana tuh?
Ya lawan aja sih.
Lawan aja ya, kita lihat apakah kamu bisa tenang ya melawan Sutsujin. Oke, tapi kalau selama kamu dan Cascute di RRQ ini, RRQ tuh sebenarnya belum pernah kalah dari Geek. Apakah kalian sebenarnya sudah tahu winning condition dari Geek?
Winning condition mereka mungkin di Baloy sih sama My Kids. Di My Kids mungkin hero pool-nya yang banyak. Bisa tank, bisa assassin, bisa fighter juga.
Jadi itu ya yang perlu kita lihat dan kita perhitungkan. Dan mungkin ada hal nggak sih yang kamu nantikan dalam perjumpaan melawan Make Kids?
Pengen adu assassin aja.
Dan aduh assassin kita akan lihat dan satu kata dong buat Geek Fam.
Kasih yang seru.
Kasih yang seru, oke. Good luck. And have fun juga buat RRQ dan kita akan melihat apakah di match kali ini satu slot terakhir akan jatuh ke tangan RRQ ataukah ke tangan Geek Fam. So see you di match hari ini.
So that was Mr. Arturito. He's back on the entrance alongside Alyssa, and he says, "Yeah, let's fight it, Make It. Let's go and brawl." So Arashi, before I get to you, I want to ask a bit about the audience topic voting. Obviously, at home, you guys can also participate in throwing out your opinions. It may be good, it may be bad, but hey, an opinion is still an opinion, right? Audience topic voting: RRQ versus Geek. Who will secure the last ticket to MSC? This is a yes or no question, or like a two-choice question. Yeah, it's a prediction basically. RRQ will return to the MSC scene, or B, Geek, the new MSC contender. This is, I'm just gonna throw it on the air. What do you guys think?
I feel like Geek Fam, right? The storyline will be so cool after such a long journey. Woloski, we talked about this before, man. Overcoming the the injuries, the carpal tunnels, developing a team of rookies, right, up to standard, defeating all the other teams, second in the regular season. If they get it done here, it's a great storyline. But this is real life, my friend. This ain't a movie,
Oh
dude.
my
RRQ's
God.
gonna get it done. Get out of here.
I was wondering, like, why is this guy giving a lot of props to Geek Fam?
That
Apparently,
passion.
it's gonna shut it down in the last second. That's pretty. I don't like that.
Wait. We need a mediator, right? Polius.
For me personally, because both of them are already see what they like. What can they play?
Yeah.
About the game, the yesterday gameplay for the RRQ and Geekfam. But for me personally, I think Geekfam have the advantage. Because RRQ is playing very hard during the last game.
Right.
But when Geekfam against Alter Ego, do you see that game?
That's what I'm saying. 3-1 to 0, man.
There are those judgments, obviously, but we'll put that to a hold because now we want to talk about the BO7 Jinx for the Kings of Kings.
Yep.
It's been a long road for them, and a best of 7 is not their best friend. Arashi Hoshi, what do you have to say about this? Will they be able to take over BO7s? Because remind you that if they will win the series, they will have another BO7 to play tomorrow against Onyx.
So technically, they're facing a BO7, BO14.
BO14.
So it's not an issue at all, man. But I want to quote a very intelligent young caster from Indonesia when he says, "I don't believe in patterns," right? That doesn't happen. That's Sheffin. So no, I think we've already broken the Kingslayer Geek Fam curse. We did that this season or somewhere between this season and last season, right? So I feel like this RRQ, we can break those curses, man. So I'm feeling pretty good.
I don't believe in curse actually,
Yeah.
because it's a 50-50 match between both of them. Both of them are strong right now.
Agreed.
They have a lot of strategy to like be shown to us today.
That's true. Speaking of strategy, Casket said he's saving strat for the playoffs, and even the players also said that as well. But the thing is, when you see Sutsujin's new hero in the jungle, the Baxia, and I believe the Yisunshin, guess the win rate, Arashi.
Hey.
Nada.
You don't have to do
It's
it.
an egg.
Hey,
It's
small-
0%.
Small sample size, bro.
Oh, come
Small
on.
sample size.
I think me and Colius will leave now because we'll set up a boxing ring for you.
Yeah.
Go at it.
Bring it.
No.
But,
Hey, I'm not trained.
But, Colius, what do you think about the Yisunshin pick yesterday from Sutsujin?
Hey, that was interesting.
Actually, if the strategy is work, like if the game plan is work, RQ might win the game. But from the early game, it's like they are very like be pressured by the opponents.
Yeah.
It's very hard for the Yisanshin to get the items, the gold, and everything else.
Yeah, they were pressured very, very well. And we talked about this yesterday in the panel that RQ was playing on a timer with Yisunshin. He had to be online on the mid game. But now, let's reveal the results. Drum roll.
Filipinos.
And
Filipinos.
whoa!
Ooh.
Geek Fam, the new MSC contender, Mr. Arashi. Where's the kingdoms at?
Well, they're probably on the Indonesian broadcast,
Yeah.
first of all.
Can we take a peek at their
Just
polys?
saying, objectively speaking,
Yeah.
right? This is a more international type broadcast, and you know, RRQ international. These are two things that hasn't really been mixing together that well, right? Performance-wise and audience-wise. So it is what it is, man. We're gonna prove you wrong.
Oh.
Kevin, got anything to say about the polling here?
Man, I'm just gonna say there's not a lot of Filipino, viewer out there internationally. I think it's spread around the world, so this is not a Filipino bias towards Voloisky, right? Right?
Probably
Right?
not. I would say it's probably not.
All the EU
Although it's
people,
still a majority though.
NA people, they believe that Geek is the better team, man. That's
Okay.
objective.
But again,
Exactly,
I think it's a 50-50 match because, like, from the audience perspective, I think Geekvam looks stronger because they beat Alter Ego 3-0 yesterday,
Yeah.
and RRQ
The first sweep in the playoffs,
Yep,
right?
the first sweep in the playoff. But RRQ find a very hard opponent against Onyx. But now they learned a lot from yesterday match. They need to like think about the new strategy, what they can play today.
Yeah, but in my opinion, right, I think this will be the first Geek Fam kind of real test.
Yeah.
Because Alter Ego, even if they were able to sweep Alter Ego, I'd say that Alter Ego side is probably the weakest out of the top 4 teams, right? So what do you think about that, Arashi? Is this the true test for Geek Fam, or
I'm supposed you're agreeing with Mr. Arthur himself. He's the one who said that.
Yeah.
Alter Ego, they don't really got any real gameplay.
No game
So,
plans.
There's that. I think it's definitely going to be a real test. If they're really having their sights on MSC and on the championship of season 15, they got to do well here as well, dude. Because we've seen what happened yesterday. I think Onyx has faced both these teams, and they've shown some really good performances against both of these teams playing today.
Yeah, indeed. And now the best mid trial in MPLID season 15. Do I need to explain who the best mid trial is? I mean, come on. Does anyone have any opinions?
Well,
maybe
Mr. Bjorn Ong earlier,
Bjorn Ong.
he gave a shout out to RRQ, did he not? He said
did.
RRQ's trio mid is real good right now.
Second strongest.
Hey.
But RQ trio mid lane is second strongest. Bjorn said that. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I think the first is still Onyx.
I don't know about that.
But we're close though.
If like it's it's in on their prime time.
Yeah.
Like as we know how strong is Kyrie, Keyboy, and Sans.
Hey, yes,
But
sir.
for Beloy, Make It, and Aboy, for Gigvam itself, it's always changing the jungler. Before they have Nile, they have Ray, but
Right.
now they have Make It.
I would wanna try to agree with Paul Leos because to a certain degree, this Onyx trio mid has been there for quite some time, right?
Yeah.
What is this, Onyx glazing section?
I'm not trying to glaze Onyx, but it is the fact of the matter is that they have been together for quite some time. M5, it was their prime. Season 11, they skyrocketed into greater heights. And now for you, Jeffin, what do you think? You know that the Geek Fan trio mid has that can really topple down Arc.
I don't even need to give out my own opinion. We can ask Keyboy and Sans right away. In the regular season, they got interviewed by Alyssa to see like which mid trio, or no, actually it's a Rome and mid duo is the best in MPL Indonesia. They put themselves at the top. Guess who's second? It's Aboy and Beloy.
Oh,
So they're wrong.
what is this?
Okay, I can just concede the fact that Keyboy and Sans is way better. Maybe like slightly better than Aboy and Beloy.
Or slightly better.
Slightly better.
Dang.
But, you gotta take their opinion, man. They're the best.
I mean, that's some confidence, man. Regular season MVP. Who was it again?
Eman. Eman.
Really?
Eman. It is Eman.
No.
Officially. Officially.
Officially, it's Idok. Yeah.
Exactly.
But-
Polius. Let them know.
But I think, Paulius, do you think Edok will have pressure in his back because now he's the regular season MVP and he has to deliver that MSC ticket to RRQ?
Of course, the pressure is gonna be there, I think. But for Idok mentality, he plays against like these grand final vibes a lot of times. So I think Idok can be like the key player for this match. It's the same thing with the Geek Fam. It's Beloy. So it's the battle between the roamer.
Right. And it's funny because like they're both roamers, but they all don't operate the same way. Because Beloyski, kind of a shot caller.
Yeah.
We know that for RRQ, Edok, mechanically amazing, but he's not like the main shot caller. That's still on to Rins. And in that sense, I do feel like shot call wise, split second decision making wise, I think Geeka has shown that that's the kind of style they really enjoy to do. That will be one of the big tests that RRQ have to try and battle out against.
And here we are with the teams ready to roll in the Velodrome. Destiny demands one final reckoning. This place is no longer a Velodrome. This place is a crumbling castle. It will bear witness of a fallen king. Once the conqueror, now down with its crown shattered. In front of them stands the King Slayers, looking to strike the final blow. As they make their way onto the stage, we welcome the fallen kings, but now they are the kings of kings against the King Slayers. Give it up for Rex Regum, Kaon. And onto their left stands the mighty tall King Slayers. It is Geek Fam.
Battling out for a chance and revenge against and also for their own personal vendetta. This is going to be the highlight, the only match of today. And immediately our Marshal Gary brings in Cascute with Rave against Bluffsy and Dora DSP. The mind game begins now.
What are some strategies, Polios, that you can point out from both coaching staffs? What are the differences that you can really point out in today's matches? Especially we have sample sizes of the draft from yesterday's series.
For me personally, the first thing is the draft. I think both of these teams are very smart or good at drafting. That's why we need to see like what kind of strategy or secret that Cascade have or the Geek Fam have.
Yeah, and I think the hero pool, the overall hero pool will come into play in this game. And so far, RQ, truthfully, has been picking more heroes than Geek Fam, despite Susujin only playing in a, very minimal hero pool. So I think that's gonna come into play because the more cards you have, the better your chances in a best of 7.
Mr. Metaman, let me call you in. There you go. Meta check now for RRQ Hoshi. What is RRQ's favoritism, I'd say, with the Gatot Kacha?
That's an interesting question, man, because earlier in the season, Ranger Gatot was a thing, a great go-to.
Yeah.
But really haven't seen it being really as good. It's just a more safe option, a more flexible option. But I feel like for RRQ right now, flexibility is the least of their worries.
Yeah.
They have to make sure that whether it's rigid or flexible, they make sure that execution stays clean, right? Messiness is the one thing that everyone has been criticizing about RRQ. And Julius, what do you think about this situation here, especially with the Fanny, right? Geek Fam can have a great Fanny, RRQ are going to be forced to respect it again and again. That's a big problem for a lot of teams. RRQ is no exception.
I think we totally agree that both of the jungler, Maykits and Susujin, are a very great player for using the Vanny.
Yeah.
But for today, the lower bracket final match, I think Vanny will be banned all the time. Yeah, they prefer to play safe, just not let the opponents use the Vanny.
Yep, and now, Chef Fam, it's your time to shine. Because Kenziski, I don't want to say this, Chefin, but he might just go the route of a one-trick Harith.
I don't know about that, but if the Harith is available, then why not?
Yeah.
The best at Harith. You can see the outplay against against Alter Ego.
The
the
best?
Flicker.
The best?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Words.
There's no Salvero in this league.
He's up there, yeah.
Yeah, but back to I want to talk about Maykits, man.
Yeah.
He's probably the only guy. I think he's the only guy in the playoffs that has been using Suyo the most, and it's been his main option for the longest time. So it's interesting to see that Geek Fam is not really, they're staying the course. They still want to pick the Suyo, and it's working. So I don't see a reason for them to just switch the gears, maybe just, try some new heroes, just like Cascade did with Sutsujin. And Geek Fam, we know. Their game plan is stick to what works.
Yeah, and I think it's fair to, it's also important to mention the fact that teams understand that Maykits is a great assassin player. So they draft and also ban to try and limit the options there, like the Fannies, like all these other assassins, like the Ling even, that Maykits can do well on. And when that happens, the Suyo is a bit of a best of both worlds. You can kind of be an assassin, but also be a fighter. You can also poke, but also secure kills. So I think that's why we're seeing the Suyo really rise up in popularity, specifically for Maykits.
But it depends on for Baxia and Frederick matchup. I think for today, most of them are banning Baxia because we know that the Baxia potential when Alter Ego is using the Baxia, right?
Yeah, right.
So that's why I think no more Baxia for this lower bracket final match. So they gonna play like what Arthur said before. It's the battle between assassins against assassins.
Because I feel like the Baxia in the hands of RRQ isn't really the best option. I mean, you put Baxia on Edok, he's not gonna play Major, right? Like a Sigville Implosion. You put him on Sutsujin, it's not really, the best Baxia. So you're gonna want to put Sutsujin on a winning matchup. And by the way, the rival showdown, the smiling jungler versus S-tier jungler. What are, Chefin, the stark contrasts between Maykits and Sutsujin?
The stark contrast is the other one has an MPL ID second team nod.
What is this?
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, especially for Sutsujin. We mentioned about the Baxia Coleus, and you mentioned it too, Realize. They're not really the best at using Baxia, the thing that you said, but also they're up against Onyx. We have to take that 0% win rate with a grain of salt. And I think they're gonna be able to execute the Baxia much better in this match compared to before, because Onyx they know much better, but how to counter that hero.
Yeah, I mean, for the other side, though, I think between those two, I think it's the difference in the team, right? Sutsujin actually is more well-known for playing those utility junglers, because back then that was something that was his thing, but now we've seen Maykits also pick up some of the Fredrins, some of the fighters, so I really feel like at this point, after the 2-week break, after the first 3 days of the playoffs, I think it's not really fair to say that these two junglers are limited in that sense. But who is the better utility jungler? I think that still leaves a lot to be interpreted. For Assassins, I feel like it's fair to say that for Sutsujin, to join the Hayabusa he can compete with.
Hey.
The Fanny is all for make hits, man. The keys to victory here by the Samsung Galaxy S25 series for RRQ. They're on a surprise, bring the pocket strats in, bring in all these creative strats, but make sure that you have the right execution as well. I think that's the most important thing that they have to kind of focus on after they really have this creative style coming in from Kescute. For GeekFan, minimize the playmaking potentials from Edok and Dyron. That's been a massive win condition for RRQ.
And yeah, give a boy a carry mid hero, and Parsha is a solid option. I think I agree with that. Of course, like Parsha is the key of everything. Like yesterday, we all the match that Parsha is because of the artillery about the high ground defensive. Parsha is the best heroes for now.
And it's not even close. Not even close to other mages because it's the only mage that can burst on the back line. And it's a so highly sought commodity in this kind of meta. So I'm curious to see if GeekFam wants to just pick the Farsa first, or do they want to, kind of quote unquote, not really counter it, but they know that a boy really likes the Paramus, a boy can play the Zos. So that kind of like reactive kind of play style suits them better.
That was about to be my question. Because yeah, the Farsa is available, it's a very strong pick. I mean, when push comes to shove, maybe you go for the Yi. If the Chusin's open, you go for the Chusin. But a boy seems to shy away from that Farsa pick, right? He is used to and accustomed to the Paramus pick or the Valentina pick. So is this a case of GeekFam's just gonna give the Farsa towards RQ?
It'll be dangerous, man, especially because like the heroes that Aboy prefers now is still also heroes that the Farsa can do well against. I mean, Golius, Mirko has been very vocal saying the Paramus useless. Sometimes it works, but when it works, it's not because it's good. It's because the opposing team doesn't play well against it. What do you think about that Paramus right now in Season 15?
I think it's in my humble opinion, it depends on the pilot. If the pilot of Varamis, I think it's gonna be a game changer because the prolonged team fight, when he gonna using the Nether Realm is a very important moment. That's why GeekFam is always leading when the team fights happen when a boy using the Varamis.
Alright, and now we go to the drafting phase presented by the official
Also Baxia.
Samsung Galaxy S5 series.
Finally!
Back towards the Baxia, the Lucas, the Hayabusa as well. But for RQ, they want to stop the Harith. Is this just
finally.
gonna be a Fredrin answer to the Joy?
I think Kenziske using Harriet is really a disaster for the opponent.
Yeah.
Because how the positioning, how he utilized the ultimate itself, it's a very important moment for the opponents, especially during the team fights. That's why yesterday when I do the restream, I always asking why nobody's banning the Harriet from Kenziske. And now RQ sees that, they banning the Harriet.
Great move from RRQ, but hey, with the Joy taken away already, the Hayabusa also banned out. No real good options for Sutsujin just yet. If RRQ want to go for the Fragrant, they better go for it before the second banning phase. But with the Tsushin and Volvius, they're already gearing up for a brawl type situation. GeekFam, do they want to oblige and go for and fight fire with fire?
I gotta say, I think this is gonna be an easy mid lane pick for a boy. There's a lot of options that's good here. If you wanna just a pure counter towards the Phobius and also the Jushin, Eve can work. The Farsight can still work, and it kind of limits the potential of the gold laner of RRQ. They wanna pick a Granger, they wanna pick a Aerithel or 1-1. It's still gonna, that's I guess the trap that GeekFam's gonna set in this phase.
The Bedang. A playmaker that's very important right now. A lot of teams have been contesting it. It's a good flex pick option as well, but they've revealed the jungle and the golden already. An early 1-1, I guess GeekFam are thinking they're going to ban the Aerithel maybe and make sure that they take away all the dangerous laners. But man, that's a very bold pick. RRQ can go for it right now. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Pick Fredrin or Aerithel. Pick your poison.
So they're trying to put RQ into a confusing situation.
Could be.
So then RQ should try to make a priority scale, which is more dangerous, the Joy or the 1-1. They go for the Granger.
Wow! For the Granger, because for me, personally, I think 1-1 is a very wise pick because there is no Farsia. They are using Yuzuxian as the mid lane. And about the Povius is a frontliner. So 1-1 can easily open the weakness point.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. That's the point why Gigvam is picking the 1-1 on the second pick.
And let's jump in on the back line, right, for the Phobius.
Yeah.
But the Granger pick, Arashi, they missed the chance to properly just counter the 1-1, either the Joy as well.
I think there's some plans, they might want to have a bit more range because they know they have a mid lane that's very short range. Because, man, that's a golden opportunity to go for the Irritel and counter it. Mirko is very vocal about this. The 1-1 cannot do well against the Irritel. But now there's questions here about Toy, right? He's always been put on his Granger again and again.
Yeah.
Is he getting a bit too one-dimensional here? Because he used to play the Irritel and the 1-1. He used to play a wide variety of gold laners. Right now, the other signature pick for RRQ has been taken away by Geek Fam. That Tigreal that was able to kind of turn things around against Onyx themselves.
Another signature pick that Geekfam might take away here is the lane because they realize that the 1-1 is there and they want to limit that backline dive potential coming in from Tsutsujin. And we know RRQ in the last game against Onyx, they were very, Kyrie was very, very good on the lane. It's pretty much disabling Toy from winning the game for them. So that should be the course here for Geekfam. And that's a good ban also, limiting the potential of a boy, the Eve. That should be a farsa, right, for Geek after, or at least in the second phase.
The Eve being banned now, what options do Geek Fam has against this? Shusen, Arashi.
It depends. If they're concerned about a potential, they banned Lucas already, so anything with good wave clear and kite ability will be important. We've seen the meta kind of start going towards the kiting angle. Both Onyx and Geek Fam when they were, and of course RRQ against Onyx, when they've gone against each other, distance management was something that's very important. I'm expecting some mobility for sure, but there we go. No Lucas, no Fredrin, no Baksha. So RRQ are losing a lot of options here, especially because we know Tsutsujin, he's only good on a select few heroes unless RRQ have something up the bag.
But Gigvam, if they want to go all-out team fights, I think Varamis is in the option right now. They can pick the Varamis because it have a good synergy between Joy, 1-1, and Badang.
Right.
But Jeffin, is this a good, early pick for a full all-in combo?
Oh!
I was about to ask!
The
And then Ruby
debut.
comes through. Hey, we talked about this yesterday. Edoc, when he was starting out playing for RRQ, he was bringing out the Rubies.
Yep.
He was bringing out the Tigreals. Where has the Ruby been? And there you go, the Ruby.
Mirko is very vocal saying it's not really possible, feasible, or wise to use it in the current meta. But you have to remember, this was the pick that Edoc used to explode onto the scene, making those plays again and again. We saw this similar conundrum in M6, I believe, when RRQ were trying to deal with a Joy, and they went with a Belleric. And I asked Mr. NMM himself, wouldn't the Ruby make a bit more sense, right? More spammable crowd control, still having the potential to be aggressive and defensive? He didn't agree back then, but now, maybe they found something, but the Lo Yi, dude, comes in. Geek Fam with the macro threat.
Oh man, this is, and there you go, that lane, as we predicted, realize.
My oh my, that's gonna be very interesting. But now, Mirko and Gani, walk us through. Casters, time is yours.
Thank you so much, panel. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the caster desk. I'm Mirko, joined here by Gani. Welcome to the lower bracket finals. For the first time in the history of MPL Indonesia, we'll have a full best of, at least I hope it's a full best of 7.
Let's see.
I don't want to jinx anything. Just so that I don't jinx it, it's going to be 4-0. We're not going to see a best of 7.
Hopefully we do get a lot of games though, all right? And who will it be? Will it be the Kingslayers or will it be the Kings of Kings?
The two teams who've enjoyed the paradise that was the upper brackets will now battle in the depths of the lower brackets. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Lanathon lower bracket finals. One last ticket to MSC at EWC.
Yeehaw! Game 1, Land of Dawn. A little spell check here, nothing too crazy. 4 flickers for RRQ, 3N and Inspire for Geek. Who will strike first in this best of 3? Ladies and gentlemen, let's witness and enjoy. the game.
Really good stuff from Geek Fam in the drafts, I feel, man. Like, they were 2 steps ahead of even us here on the caster desk, picking up the 1-1 while the Irtho was open, but it's okay because they knew that RRQ could have gone, or should have, I would say, gone for a jungler, knowing that a lot of it will be banned out. But turns out, Geek Fam instead went for the roam bans, taking away those playmakers from Edok. Something that we saw him utilize very well yesterday, almost being the key factor in a comeback up against Onyx. Looking at the emblems here by IndieHome, pull yourself together for both a boy and Kenzie. And also we got to pull yourself together for Edok. A pick that Arashi's been talking about, you know, where has this been? It's a signature pick for Edok. A lot of times we see these comfort picks, Gani, and it just doesn't work out. Sans on the Lilia. Let's see if Edok can pull off the Ruby.
It's a little bit of the risk taking here from side of RRQ. That's going to be the airborne. Geek Fam and RRQ, slow early game, touching and going. No spells triggered as well, and it seems like they will go all in the first turtle fight.
Turtle 1 is going to be a big point of contention here for both these teams. Again, the Ling pick towards the end was the only choice, to be fair, right? We were talking about the Fredrin, but it was banned out. Good pin down, Rins on a utility pick as well. A boy. This is what I like about a boy, right? When he gets his hands on the carries, Rins pulled back already, set up better for Geek Fam for Turtle 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great reminder for Boy, who was on the 1-1 against Kyrie on the Ling, and he struggled in that game. Sutsujin looking to replicate that gameplay, and let's see, will it come to fruition or not? Seems like both teams, though, taking it slow for the first turtle take.
Both assassins, there's no need, no rush to go for neutral objectives. They can just farm out, especially for RRQ, knowing that, again, Makekids was able to take it earlier, but Loisky getting chunked quite low. Turtle number 1, Makekids a level ahead already. Sutsujin still on the orange buff now. Good Lantern Flare, Rins backing away. Time with the flicker forward, get in the Dark Wave, and now Infernal Pursuit over to the back. A boy to be caught as well. Time will continue. But Loisky got 3.
Tempest of Blade will not be able to find a mark. That's going to be Makekids.
Almost getting it. Now in the mid lane, Riz, no Crimson Beacon. Edok mounted by the glue. Tywin walking up, gets a basic attack onto the lethal. Wanderer Gob still with immobilization. Looking for the kill. Another grab, a flicker missing. Edok getting away 1-1. But Geek Fam, Beloy and a boy are back on the turtle. Dyron with the Dark Wave again.
He collapsed on the turtle. Dyron looking for an escape route.
Boom, bang, chomped up by Gobs. A boy coming in as well. Immobilization, 3-man Dark Wave. Dyron pinned down again, a free turtle, and a kill for Geek Fam.
RRQ, they are struggling to find the connection in that turtle take, and yeah, that was just clean discipline execution from side of Geek Fam. Now, can they translate it to the later stage? Prediction, we got colors.
Wow. Town prediction by our new application, GoPay. RRQ?
1-2.
Okay, we're 3-3. All right, it's equal. Kolius, me, and Arashi, we've gone RRQ. We have a battle amongst ourselves. But remember, this could be a way for me to curse, you know what I mean?
Okay. You're teasing us.
Very convenient for me.
4 minutes in, just the 3 kills in total. And yeah, Toy and Kenzie, safe farm so far. Untouched. I don't think they have spent their spells just yet, so that's pretty okay. Toy, though, already rotating towards the mid.
Yeah, trying to get the double lane. Something you can do against the 1-1 when you have the Granger is, again, utilize that double lane. Mainly on the Granger, too, you just have a lot of kill pressure in lane, but Beloyski has been able to neutralize that really well in game 1. Constantly rotating to keep Kenzieski safe, and we really see a shift in styles for Kenzie. I think in the regular season early on, he always wanted to go for the 1v1s. They got soloed by Iman, and after that, he had to go through a whole redemption arc. Practicing in scrims, getting better, and now he decides, for the most part, not to engage in the lane.
Looking at the Adams Corrosion, yeah, 3.1. Oh, 400 between the two, 500 even, so that's an edge.
But I'm offended. Rims already with Lantern Flare. Now again, Beloyski going to be caught and will be taken down. Toy picks up the kill. Another Lantern Flare over to a boy, but the Brave Smite gets him back to safety. Also the regen. Unfortunately for Toy, just a tad bit late. Could have been a stack on the Skypiercer.
Out of position, Beloyski there. Punished and unlucky for Geek Fam. RRQ, they have prio on the next turtle. Geek Fam, can they recover?
Another I'm offended over. A boy gonna be caught again. Lantern Flare not there. Kenzie. Dive on the back. Dark Wave. They put a pursuit with a pin down with a pinch crack as well. A boy still gonna be caught as well. 1 for 1 though. In the end, XP for mid. May kids on the turtle.
What an initiation by Dyron. Oh, perhaps Beloyski looking for an initiation.
Uh-oh. Kenzie picked up half second skill. That's an all in onto the back again. Turtle gonna be taken. Edok pinned down to the wall. Gets over the wall. Sutsujin. Tempest Ablaze. Beloyski waiting for the pin again. Oh, Sutsujin!
Finds the connection and Kenzie falls. RRQ, they may lose out on the turtle take on the first one, but second round, it is all them.
It's been so equal that at this point, I guess we gotta talk about scaling. Geek Fam have secured the first 2 turtles in the game, but RRQ have found really good trades on the board. A turret up top, more kills. Do they have the scaling? They certainly do have damage when we get to late game with the Ling. The 1-1 falls off, and Joy goes crazy in the late game. Rins with the flicker out already. I think even if we get to the late game, it's kind of equal, but the diversion plays, I think, is what really will set the 2 teams apart. Once we get to mid to late, once these turrets start to fall, and once the map starts to open, that's your player. Boys with the rage might again. Crimson Beacon to the back of Boys with the flicker out. Fist crack.
That's a cancellation. Decision stuck. Tempest Blade.
Mounted up, still taken down. Great Skypiercer stack now is asking to pin down one more time. But Edok is make kids. Jumps to the back. Dark Wave canceling the dashes. Edok will be caught in the crossbow. Tang! Toy gets a double. 4-6 on the scoreboard. 1-1. Beloy and Edok plus Gops.
Great recovery, at least for Geek Fam, right? Could have really gone worse, but it's still a win for RRQ now. They're looking for the siege towards the mid, but Geek Fam was there to just defend and clear. Yeah, let's take a breather. 1.2k gold wall between them, but okay. That's surprising. RRQ winning on the audience prediction?
Extremely surprising, you know? Probably one of the smaller fan bases in Mobile Legends. That's a joke. RRQ obviously going to always win these audience predictions. The kingdom is strong, very strong here in the arena too. And then they got the Fem Unity outnumbered by what, like 3-1. Quite crazy. 1,000 gold in. And to be fair, RRQ, they built themselves such a good composition to deny the joy. They have so many displacements. You see, usually you just wait for Dyron to pop Dark Wave or that shoulder bash, and then you'll be free. But now you have to deal with, again, the Juice Sin, the Ruby. And technically, Suzuki can land a Tempest of Blades on him, knock him up.
Goes both ways, right? Let's see here, this first Lord has spawned. Geek Fam, again, they're behind just under a K. They have, compensation. Holy Crystal, though, that's a big power spike for Make-Its.
Uh-oh, I'm offended over the Gobs. Has a spread, will be able to utilize it. Beloyski with the pin down over to Tyra now, and that's with all in with the immobilization as well as Rins pops in, Crimson Beacon, walks it forward! Dark Wave, crossbow tang!
That's gonna be Make-Its finding the connection, but aiming for the back, Dyron falls.
Make-Its in the back, tearing them apart, finding a kill. Sutsujin! And locked down by the fist crack as Kenzie lets the basic attacks fly on Ling.
Both teams trading punches. This time around, Geek Fam, they were able to have the right control and 3 members of RRQ out.
The reactive draft of RRQ has not been able to get them the mid-game wins. Geek Fam waited so patiently for their power spikes, that Holy Crystal right on cue, Ghana. You mentioned it, and they went in. Explosive initiation from Beloyski. Saw that Dyron was opposition. Once you get one of those things, again, one of the core components as to how they've been able to deny the joy, it leaves Make-Its with so much room. Rins, it didn't really help that they were kind of scattered in that fight.
No.
They got to play for Toy. Toy has 3 kills still. 2 stacks on Skypiercer.
It's really tough, right? I mean, like, what, 2 minutes ago, RRQ had the gold lead, 1,500 gold. 2 minutes later, Geek Fam, almost 3K. And they're not done on the offense. Lord is still marching bottom side. That's a diversion.
Sutsujin, oh, pin down! B! Big Brain Baloyski with the help of his partner in crime, a boy.
He really has a dream. A boy. Lord, bottom side. Can they pressure more?
Yes, they can. I don't know about the wave clear from RRQ. Make it! In the back, the smiling jungler, smiling a bit too widely in this game, getting everything he wants.
Okay. Tempo. Seems like with the holy defense, RRQ will be able to hold on. And Geek Fam, at this point, right, we are about to enter the late game. And it's going to get very scary for RRQ with the diversion play. We saw what Sans did with the Luo Yi yesterday against RRQ. So will they have that PTSD against a boy?
That's a good question. I don't know. It's tough. We were talking about if both teams scaled equally. Oh, reaction now. Over to Edok, mounted up as well. Edok has the flicker. He does not want to utilize it defensively, but he does make it!
Finds it. Tempest Blade defensively. Geek Fam, though, they will back away.
So slow, yet so calculated for Geek Fam. They don't rush into these things. They just find the poke. And now we're really seeing, the weakness of the Ruby. The weakness of when Edok doesn't get a prio pick. Beloy, no one saw that. It's fine. Oh, that Tigreal ban really hurt.
Great read, right?
Yeah.
Draft-wise, especially in the second phase.
Better not.
Oh. But yeah, Haskell's as well, Kenzie. So that's survivability.
Yeah.
Gotta take into consideration where RRQ might go for the all-in, but the Haskell can be clutch for Kenzie.
For sure. He's gone for the crit fill, ladies and gentlemen. Diversion from a boy with a dream, a boy with a catch!
Again,
Sujin.
That's Sujin though. Calm, collected. Okay, so at least he has secured the true damage item within that endless battle. So I guess he has chances, right? And now he is controlling the top side, and Geek Fam, they're gonna blitz this.
DOD for Toy. Big item, electrifying beats over to Lord already. They want to blitz this as quick as they can. Substitution, nowhere to be seen. Make it, secures it, Rinse. Ball before the crossbow tank gets popped in. Now again, comes to the back line, zone in the way. Siren isolates himself. Dark Wave.
Crossbow, a tang.
Killed it. And another diversion from a boy. Sunsujin dove in. Tempest of Blaze will find a boy. But is it worth it for the cost of the mercenary's life?
Bang, 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 bang. That's 4 RRQ members eliminated.
Damn, that's 2 times more bangs than you see in the title of the video game. RRQ, now they're really on the back foot. And man, this reminds me of an old version of RRQ. An RRQ in their toughest times, only relying on their gold lane. Called them Skylar-centric back in the day. Currently, it's all Toy.
During that time, gotta remember, they were a defensive team. They are so good at defending. Will that characteristics show in this game? They're behind almost 7K. Defending a Lord, can they pull the defense out?
And that team was actually knocked out by Geek Fam, making it a 1v1 against the Mercenary. Once a part of his team back in the day. Now in the mid lane of Siege. Edol walking up. Gobs with the spread already as Makins walks up his Rins. Pops in the Crimson Beacon. Big resource.
RRQ still holding on. They want to prioritize to take this Lord down. Geek Fam patiently waiting for a mistake.
Oh, that's a mistake. Kenzie, way too aggressive. Luckily, you have a second chance when you're on the 1-1. RQ weren't ready for Edok to find a target like that. Base turret down in the far lane. This is of immense value for Geek Fam.
All right. seems like RQ again. They are able to defend the Lord here. Second Lord, and by the way, Ruby became the second most picked hero. That's a pull.
I'm offended. Now diversion into the back. Poi finds it, and he will be able to pop in. Kenzie's deep from the side again. Sutsujin's got her, but let's stay and make it.
That's going to be Dyron though. Trying to find counterplay. Toy finds it.
No crossbow tang. Interesting.
Okay.
Mackenzie would pop it in. Ends up being 1-for-1. Gops for Dyron. I guess you could say the losing team usually benefits from a 1-for-1 trade, but I don't know about this. I think it really still benefits GeekFam knowing that, again, without that front line, they can't open their own jungle. GeekFam has full control of the Kingdom's jungle.
Really hard for the RRQ composition to open the map, right? Sure, you're a Ruby, but Ruby's not a hero that can really face check, especially when on a losing team. So let's see here how they handle it. Seems like RQ's play is just clump up, send Susujin far lane, but this time a different approach. Susujin joins immediately.
But while you look at that, Wind of Nature already built up. Veloci actually taking a half. Make kids threatening the back. Wind of Nature. This is a big item for GeekFam, for Kenziski. The only real threat for Kenziski the entire game, 60 minutes, has been physical damage dealer. Now reaction to cancel out the conceal. A boy to be engaged on time. Finding the route wave. Toy in the midst of it all. Now with time in the back with Sutsujin. A boy will be falling again.
That's going to be make it Tempest Blade.
Trying to go for more. Kenzie's gone like with a crossbow tag. Eat up mounted. Kenzie go and fist drag over to Sutsujin. On the wall he falls to give Kenzie a triple. Only one man left standing. Toy, he deals with the wave, but GeekFam have another.
Let's see RQ. Toy, will he be able to defend this one?
Make hits with the minions in the mid lane, now jumping in all the way to the back with the electrifying beats. Now the rest of the team, Beloyski with a punch to finally knock RRQ out in game number 1.
GeekFam, they strike first in this best of 7. Great approach, great execution, and RRQ will be the ones to suffer first.
A devastating blow to the Kings who've just fallen from the upper bracket finals. The fallen Kings. How could it be even more poetic? In their weaker state, going up against the man, Beloyski, the team, GeekFam, who've been called, who've been named the Kingslayers, the one that has always been somehow the kryptonite of RRQ. A reverse sweep with the solution back in season 12. And man, RRQ, I don't know what to say. They have to go back to the drawing books. They have. They went back to regular season draft. Didn't work in game 1.
Great momentum build up for GeekFam indeed, but Miracle, let's remind the viewers, this still is a best of 7.
Yep.
It's gonna be a long journey. Let's see if RRQ can recover quick for game 2.
Well, for the Kingdom, let's hope they are hoping that is gonna be the case. So scattered these skirmishes. Again, RRQ lost the identity of what is their real win condition. Played for Toy. This is where you really need to be Toy-centric. They've been trying to get away from the shadow of Skylar-centric for the longest time, that they're so afraid of it. If he's the only one in your team doing well, play for your gold lane. No problem, Kingdom. Let's see if the panel agrees with us here, Gani. Realize, Coleus, Shepin, Rash, what do you think? GeekFam, they throw their punches first on towards RRQ in what was an exciting match. It is 1-0 as of now. They still need 3 more wins to come, so Shepin, calm down a bit.
BO7.
Rashi, first thoughts of that game?
I really feel like RRQ, again, we're just a bit disconnected, man. There are so many moments where they're going to be diving, but not really, right? And funny enough, when Rico mentioned that right before Mirko mentioned that, oh, they're not really playing for Toy, I said the exact same thing right here. Like, Toy is doing pretty okay even in yesterday's matches on that Granger, and they never really play for him. They don't peel for him. They don't help him out. So for the most part, Makeits had a field day just looking for him in the back line.
Yeah.
Contrast that to how Beloyski was always on Sutsuji's case, dude. Every single time.
And my question is, do Ling and Ruby is a wise pick for this team? Because Ruby is not too sustainable to be on the front laner. But if we are talking about the Pobius cannot start the team fight as well as Ruby. That's the problem. And Makeits is always free to go to the back line.
I guess it starts with the draft. You mentioned about the Link pick, Coleus, but I feel like there's no really other good option there in the second phase. The second banning phase from GeekFam is nothing sort of brilliant, man. That Tig ban and also the Fredrin ban, that just gives Makeits a lot of green light to just go crazy to backline. And I feel like that's also the big factor why Makeits didn't even die a single time, despite them kind of drafting towards Makeits' counter in that Ruby in the second phase.
I like odds that Geek Fam has now in their pockets. It's favoring towards them. But the player of the game presented by the official tournament smartphone Samsung Galaxy S25 series. It is Makeits, and slowly but surely he's growing to become a man.
The smiling jungler, man. Look at this. Every single moment in the early game where RRQ were trying to use the Phobius power, was trying to use the Ruby playmaking potential, and the Tsushin in the early game. Very, very annoying. Geek Fam were able to just stave off, wait long enough, and then once RRQ are kind of scattered, they've overcommitted to multiple objectives in the team fights, multiple targets, they strike back and immediately make it. Kenziski, whenever they decide it's time to go, usually most of the resources are done. And Beloyski on the Badang again, defensive, aggressive, you name it, man. He was being so active all across the board.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. In the draft, I feel like for RRQ, or actually you mentioned it, it's more of a reactive draft compared to GeekFam. But GeekFam, they can go both ways. They can be as aggressive as they want, especially with the Badang, and also the diversion coming in from a boy. Yeah. Look at this. This is the nail of the coffin there. Oh my god, Sufijin fell in effort, but I feel like this is not really the wisest of trade there. Just, a boy and Sufijin getting traded out. I think that's a no.
Yeah, but the DPS is still there. Kenziski is 1-1, can destroy the base turret, and they got the important base turret, which is the bottom base turret, and where the Lord is at the top lane. And in this moment, I think it's already disaster when I see the Makeits go to the back line, aiming for Rinse and for the toy.
Speaking of the draft, I want to ask a specific question in which I think Geek Fam has the upper hand. They were able to trap RRQ into, banning either one of the counters towards a specific hero, right? For Geek Fam, they had Kinziski with 1-1 as a winning condition. Second one, they had Joy as well for Makeits as the winning condition. Left open for RRQ was either to pick the Earthal or the Fredrin. What do you think about this thought process? How was Geek Fam able to steal away those two heroes for themselves?
Well, I'm thinking like if you were gonna go for the Granger anyways, right? Then why not just go for the Fredrin? You know what I mean? Because like in the end, even if Geek Fam did ban away the Irithel there, then they would still have the Granger, the option for the Granger. And if they want to force that onto Geek Fam, their final two bans were the Tigreal and the Fredrin. Right, so if they picked Fredrin there, then they're gonna have to pick between letting Kenziski lane against an Irithel on a 1-1 or face the Tigreal. Either way, I feel like it's a better option compared to what happened here.
So you're saying they should have just saved the gold lane pick in the second phase?
I dare say, I think so.
Yeah, I think that's also my take as well, especially with the fact that there is a Joy, and I don't think there is any. It's a no-brainer pick, the Fredrin.
Yeah.
And the Granger is just there. I don't know, man. I feel like what's up with Toy and Granger? Yeah, it worked in the regular season. The win rate is absolutely amazing, 80+%, if I'm not wrong. But in this case, I don't see like a big reason for him to go for a Granger instead of just going for like Irithel right away.
So my assumption is that they wanted the Dead Sonata to help check out, check for information. Because they have the Tsushin, right? Usually you would see something else there like a Selena to try and counter and find information for the Tsushin. But for the against the Loi, but because it's not available, they go for the Granger, which is the next best thing, kind of. But again, it's just trying to pivot a bit too hard, a bit too creatively, and it might be also the fact that they want to leave Toy to kind of play for himself. But again, even if that's the idea, the Moscow's still open. I mean, realize you're like, one of the best Moscows in your opinion. Again, in his own opinion. So,
What was that?
the Moscow against the Joy, right? Against the Badangs, I feel like it's really not a bad pick either. So,
But I think RQ have the game plan want to conquer the early game.
right.
Because it's against Luoyi. They don't want Geekfam have the map control.
Yeah.
Luoyi can use the diversion freely. But the game plan execution is not well. That's why on the early game when Beloy can stop 3-person using the visual, it's a disaster for RQ, especially when Jin already used his ult. He cannot contest for the first turtle, and then it keeps snowballing for the game.
I think they were really tunneling on the Lo Yi as well, because if you see how they're playing in the early game, it's Hunt the Lo Yi. Dude. that was the name of the game. Wherever a boy was, he was just getting hunted again and again. But you have to think about this, right? They've stopped the Lo Yi from being a big damage powerhouse, but they're allowing Kenziski to farm. They're allowing Maykits to just farm without being invaded as well. So I think it comes back again to what is the plan here for RRQ as far as their aggressive goals and also their defensive goals. Do they want to shut down a boy, or do they actually have to focus a bit more on Maykits or Kenziski? And by the same token, in the fights, are they relying on Sutsujin to carry the fight, or are they relying on Toy? And they have to kind of figure out which one works better and make a call there, because I think it's kind of sporadic all over the place.
Yeah, it's all gonna go back to the drawing board, at least for Keskut and NMM and Rave. That as of now, we are going to talk about our MSC battle plan, Indonesia representative MSC legacy through the ages. Now, I have a quick question for you guys. Who do you think is the best squad or the best Indonesia MSC team ever for you, Arash?
The best MSC team
Like for
from Indonesia.
yeah, for example, like your favorite iteration.
Do you realize what he's trying to do?
Yeah, I know, exactly.
No, I'm just asking for your,
Is there
opinion.
any other answer aside from the team that almost got the golden robe?
Okay, so it's Onyx.
Yeah.
Okay, Colius.
Onikage.
Oh,
Kage.
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 No, see, there's different answers.
Shut up. Go on.
For me, I think it's for the newest Onyx, the Prime Onyx, season 11-ish. Because I feel like the game is much more developed by now. By then.
Okay.
And PH is actually an actual powerhouse that you really have to beat for you to be able to win it out.
So 3 votes for Onyx, and I think they have been able to get those results out of there. But hey, I think they're still strong teams, right? Throughout the iterations of MSC, there have been RRQ, Evos, even Bigatron make.
Realize, you're casting tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah.
So that's why you're trying to get out all the Onyx banter a day before while you're at the panel.
Yeah.
Nah,
This is what's happening. Ladies and gentlemen,
I speak facts.
the agenda is very apparent.
I speak facts.
Shameless.
I don't do if, buts, or maybes. I do absolutes.
Look at this. These are the absolute
Yeah.
representation of each region. So the only ones that hasn't been represented so far is ID and MY.
Yep, I'll read it out to you guys. Journey to MSC 2025, obviously MPL ID. Onyx ID is there. Seoul Esports, Aurora Esports, rather Aurora Turkey is there. SRG OG. And we do have actually that matchup, right? I think it's DX against Homeboys coming up soon to really get that final slot. By the way, Arashi appeared in MPL MY earlier
Oh,
today.
yeah, I saw it.
That's
I saw
pretty
it,
nice.
Man.
I have no idea,
But
man.
me and Jeffin have been preaching about Ultra Legends, haven't we?
Yeah.
This is, by the way, Colius, if you don't know Ultra Legends, this is a team that was formed just as a group of friends. They're friends, basically like that party on that party that you have in the Warcop, like
It's a hangout party.
yeah, they're like hangout party. They don't really have that professional background. I mean, some of the players do, like Restream, for example. But the jungler's name, by the way, is Throw Boy.
Throw boy?
Yeah.
To be fair, he was throwing a bit of
Hey.
times,
Hey.
But we gotta take this. Just the result, man.
But
Whoa.
Wait a minute.
we have a breaking news. We have breaking news. Is there any answer to this? Because if not, I think we're gonna break the news for you. It's not going to be DX. It's going to be Homeboys who will be the second MPL MY representatives in MSC. Congratulations for Homeboys. Mr. MPL MY man, what can you say about Homeboys?
I mean, they're cool, man. They have this, they have this wild style that I think really makes for what the cool kids are calling absolute cinema these days. Well, you know me, since back then, I like seeing a lot of action in Lana Dawn,
Yeah.
right? So I'm pretty happy that that's the result we have going on.
Yeah. I like Soren as well. Soren has been not just in game, but outside of the game, he's one of the most entertaining players that we have. Period.
I don't care if you like Sword or not. What I like is my Samsung Galaxy.
Okay.
Look at this. Hey, Coleus, by the way, he came up to me and he was like, do we use the A35 5G today, or is it going to be the S25 series? And he pulls out casually his S25 because when it comes to gaming, the latest Samsung Galaxy S25 series is the real champion. This smartphone is incredibly powerful for gaming thanks to its specs. What are the specs, Arashi?
Me?
Yeah.
You're gonna ask Cole Lewis.
Okay, Coleus,
Just
the
ran
spec.
through it.
Read out the specs, Coleus, please.
It had the Snapdragon 8 Elite for the Galaxy processor, built in on 3nm technology, making it the fastest processor ever in a Samsung Galaxy device.
Wow. By the way,
With this cutting-edge performance,
Yeah?
I think your gaming experience will be super smooth and totally lag-free.
it is lag-free.
Can we open MLBB?
Yep,
Real
of
quick?
course.
By the way, I was taking notes on the Samsung Galaxy S25 series because I like taking notes digitally. You know, like I like paper notes, but you know they get kind of messy and all. And digitally, I just kind of write myself. Let me write something to show you how beautiful writing with the S Pen is. Right? It's called the S Pen. It's basically the Samsung pen.
Can you play? Can you play with the pen?
I'm not.
Is there even any use for play like this?
Hey, maybe Beloski. That's what Beloski needs.
I'm gonna write this.
Oh,
Never mind. And by the way, if you do have a Samsung Galaxy or any Samsung device, you can go to the Team Galaxy Zone Cam by Samsung Galaxy. So Coleus,
Okay, I'll go.
yeah, you'll leave right
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Hey, we still need you here. We
What's
still
going
need
on
you.
here? Hey.
We still need Coleus here, but yeah, like I said, I'm writing here. I don't think you guys can see, but they can see.
Onyx Chat.
Onyx Chimps.
Oh, wait. What'd you say?
I'm reading what he wrote.
What'd you say?
Onyx Champs.
A champ.
Come
What's
on.
that?
I couldn't see.
That's
it.
kind of.
Okay. You can't.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
That's realized as handwriting.
Yeah.
Oh,
My
okay.
handwriting is bad, but hey, aside from this beautiful S Pen that we have, it also has the Gemini Live, a feature you can literally talk to about MLBB. If you don't have friends like me, I talk to Gemini.
Oh.
It's like you have a personal coach. You can even
Yeah.
ask the
Personal
item
coach.
build for the heroes that you use.
Yeah, when you're playing, right? You can go like, Gemini, can you help me? I'm up against a Leslie in lane. What do I pick? Who do I, use, or what do I build?
Claude.
Because no, you don't. You get canceled. You're Blazing Duet.
He's a bad coach.
Took you a little while, dude.
That's why I need Gemini, man.
Yeah, you need Gemini.
Hey, can Gemini be my girlfriend?
Be your girlfriend.
I don't know. I mean,
You can probably try and work it out somehow,
Yeah.
right? But I don't think I would advise it at all.
because how do you feel when, Gemini knows whatever you're doing?
It's in the heart, I don't need any kind of
You
physical.
don't have to be that down bad, Chefin. There's a lot of fish in the sea, all right, Coleus? I mean, you're a married man, and you don't need Gemini to show your love.
But sometimes I think Gemini can give me a good advice. Right?
Marriage
It's
advice.
not about the Mobile Legends only.
It's Gemini.
Family consultant, business consultant, tax, I don't know, maybe like you
Everything in
can
this
count your
phone.
tax as well.
Everything.
Everything in this phone.
Maybe gift recommendations, because I hate that the most. Like, oh, there's an occasion here. What do I buy?
Date please.
Oh man, Gemini, brother.
I want
help
to
me
try
out.
out. I want to try out Gemini here, but the phone is set up into Indonesian language, so I can't really use it right now.
Because you cannot speak Indonesian.
I can't. I
Yeah,
was born and raised in the U.S.
foreigner.
At 6, I went to Europe, and at 8, I went to Hungary, and then
Yeah.
at 10, I went to the UK. 12, I had to go to China.
I can see why you're from Hungary.
Why?
What do you mean?
Whoa,
This guy. What is going on? This guy, dude. Devin, why are you firing shots, man?
He's been firing shots since day 1,
Do
Colby.
you want one?
Oh my god.
Do you want one?
Make sure you don't complain when I fire back.
Okay. Coleus is though. Coleus is my chi.
You know what he said? He said this. Gold gap right now is bigger than Eterna's forehead.
Okay, we don't talk about that.
Imagine.
We don't talk about that.
I wanna,
alright?
nah, I will.
No, 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 no,
I
no,
will
okay.
dig
That was
back
rough. You
on
know,
your past crimes.
I'm sorry.
Kevin.
you know,
Okay.
Colius, the thing is, he said it when he was casting, and Eternal was on the panel. So she heard it, and she was like, what? What?
What are you
Hey,
saying?
let me clarify for all you guys, Eterna lovers, you know, not lovers, but Eterna fans, you know.
Eterna fans.
Eterna
I
mania.
actually genuinely apologize to Eterna for that. Like, without even laughing. Like, I really, you know,
Yeah,
that was
it's
my
okay.
mistake. There's
It's all good, man. It's all good, man.
Okay, that's all good. Now we go back to the game. Previous game recap. Kinziski with the 1-1 and Toy with the Granger. If it's not the Granger, what do you think the RRQ needs to put him in?
Well, again, the Aerithal comes to mind. Remember, when Toy first debuted, right? One of the big heroes that he kind of, one of the big picks that he actually showed up on was the Aerithal. And he was able to do this weird play where he hid in the bush, and once everyone went by, he came in with a heavy crossbow and just got like a triple kill out of nowhere. So, again, this is a man that understands how to play a lot of other heroes, even the Harith to a degree as well, I'm pretty sure. So, I feel like that could be used in the drafting phase, but again, I feel like, what's the idea here? Is it going to be the gold lane? Is it going to be the jungle? Right? Because if you're trying to get all the lanes in a really good spot, I think against Geek Fam, that's a bit too idealistic.
Yeah, you cannot be greedy.
They won't let it slide, yeah.
Even the Moskov works really well. And by the way, that Moskov play, I believe that was against Geek Fam, right?
Where he was surviving with a...
I know, right? So why not just use it? It works against Geek Fam.
Did mention it against the Joy as well. You can have, self-peel. So, all right. I think immediately from the second game, if you've seen how Coach Keskut operates, there's going to be some changes immediately.
Yeah.
I do wonder though. Again, with so many options, sometimes a blessing could be a curse in disguise. With so many potential options as far as which role you want to prioritize, which one is Keskut going to be focusing on, right?
Yeah.
And I do wonder if there's going to be any particular plan for Dyron and Edok, because I think that particular combination with the Roman EXP being so important for RRQ, the synergy between the two has to be really, really good. I think more so than just like what lane opponent they go to.
That's true. Now, we're gonna prepare as we go to the drafting phase presented by the official smartphone, Samsung Galaxy S25 series. Sorry to cut you off there, Colius. Do you have a point to make?
I think it depends on the heroes, what kind of momentum heroes that they want to pick right now. Especially if Darren is using like Povius again, maybe it's gonna be different gameplay that they can play right now. But if Darren is using like Hilda, who can disturbing the enemy's jungler on the early game, it might work against Gigvam if Maykits is using the assassins.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, the Hilda is obviously the bread and butter if you want to try to disturb
Oh.
the assassin, and they will ban out the Joy.
Yep.
Is disrespect warranted?
Well, but the other cat is open. Harith is open. So you have to pick, two poisons at the same time. I think this should be an easy Harith, right? Do they want to go for a chip first, maybe? That should be an option, but it hasn't been working for Beloyski. It only worked. Oh, never mind.
Whoa. Suyo.
Was it banned in the first game?
Yep. RQ ban on the first game, so that's why Gig thinking about like picking the Suyo on the first pick, because if they not pick the Suyo, RQ might pick the Suyo on their first pick.
Oh boy.
But right now against Suyo, Maykits, are they gonna use the chips?
I don't know about that.
I think chip is free. Loyi is free.
They go chip Loyi? Is that a possibility?
Onyx, Sprat.
Onyx can pull it off, but Onyx, in a way, are built kind of different, Colius. I think it's a tall order, but RRQ, they've been experimenting with some crazy picks, but no. They go back on the Tsushin.
Oh, man.
And the Gatot Kacha.
So is this gonna be Geek Fam with the Loyi chip? I mean, Beloyski loves the chip. A boy plays a Loyi as well. In the previous game, he was playing that as well.
I think it's still going to be a Bedang again. And they're going to still save the mid lane for the second phase, just the way they usually do, man. I don't know why. They always save a boy's pick for the last pick and left him with like crumbs, But they can have a different approach here, I guess, because never mind. It's still gonna be the Harith consistency. I mean, there's no reason for them to stray away from this almost guaranteed winning hero, in a team fight. Now the question is, what kind of frontliner do you pick? Oh, shocker! It's gonna be a Bedang again.
Oh, the 1-1 take up by RRQ though. So I guess it won't be a counter matchup against an Irithel. That's
If
much is
Farsa.
guaranteed. But yeah, the Farsa I think has to be respected immediately. And along with that, I don't know, heroes that can kind of like sustain from the crossbow of tag.
Oh,
It's not-
Faramis?
Oh, Faramis. Hey, Geekfam have been bringing it out, you know. Despite Mirko's advice, Geekfam have been kind of adamant on going for that Faramis. And by all means, it is a signature hero for a boy. And you mentioned it, Golius. Depends on the pilot.
Because the pilot is a boy, right?
Yeah.
But now, I think it's gonna be a very aggressive gameplay during the early game from the Geek drop because they have Suyo, they have Badang. It's very powerful on the early game, and they can give space for Kensiski to farming, and join the team fight later.
The Harith is a late game monster, right? The
Yeah.
Suyo and the Badang, I think, really enables purely early game as well. I mean, with the Jawhead, it was so good. With the Badang, even better because now you have a set. You have a sort of a way to just open up the map, and even the skirmishes is going to be very nice. But now, Geek Fam, what are they looking to ban?
What are they looking to ban? First one is blue, so they want to secure an easy matchup for the EXP, but I'm still focusing my, what's going to be the Apoy pick here, because I feel like when Geek Fam is playing against a 1-1, they always need to somehow either pick the Farsa, which has already been banned, or pick either Lu or Yi or the chip. So Lu or Yi is getting banned. There's still an Eve. That might be an answer too, because considering that, the last match, RQ versus Onyx, that was the saving grace. That RWM, a single ultimate from Sans, was able to get Savero down to 50% HP in a flash.
You have to remember the combo, right? The Yi along with the Zaman Force from the Harith, it means that you're stuck inside the Zaman Force, allowing your gold laner to output a lot more damage as well. Aside from that, being a direct counter to the Tsushin as well, seems like a double value pick for Geek Fam. I don't see why they wouldn't go for it as they ban away the Fredrin. So once again, no utility available for Sitsujin.
Yeah, just targeting Sisujin down to the core, right? Forcing him to play yet another unfavorable matchup. I mean, the lane is still available, but do you want to go the lane against the Harith, right? It's going to be very hard for Sisujin. So what are some sensible options then for Sisujin?
Oh boy, at this point,
For looking at the hero pool that Sujin has secured in the regular season, not much actually. He only played 7 heroes this season, and the ones that's left that has been picked is Yi Sun Shin
Make some noise.
and Ling.
If there's no Valentina, how about Lucas?
Lucas already been banned.
yeah, it's bad.
I didn't see. Oh yeah.
Because it's Naruto, it's not Lucas, technically. But this is the issue also for RRQ. We talked about how they are so dynamic with the engages, and how they're trying to try and hinge on that using the Ruby. But now with the Gatot and the CC, yeah, they have sustainability this time, but they don't have a lot of catch at all.
And they need survivability, right? Kimmy and Fulvius.
Man, the front to back is crazy from Geek Fam right now.
At the same time, you're up against a 1-1 too.
Yeah, but I mean, the crowd control, the sustainability, and damage output, man, Geek Fam is overloaded if it's going to be a front to back, and there are no assassins left around for Sisujin to try and use.
Assassin Zero might be the option. Maybe another Ling,
Ah,
because he can aim for Kimmy or even the contest with Suyo on the early game for the Turtle.
yeah. I mean, there isn't many choices for Ling as well, right?
Alpha.
Rather for Sisujin,
Oh,
but
no.
he will go the Alpha. Why the oh no?
I don't like it. I don't like it, I gotta say. You're just walking into a lot of CCs, and
Yeah.
Alpha is not good against CC, unless you have Matilla to bail you out.
No.
Gambling is snowballing right now, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Alpha very needed the kill points.
Yeah, I think the winning condition for the Alpha is to snowball early on. Maybe get those items go on, and now it's up to the casters to bring out the game. So Mirko and Gani, stage is yours.
Wow. The Alpha last pick for RRQ. We thought we were going to be seeing like a weird pick for Sitsujin, perhaps something like a Yisun Shin again. They go for the Alpha, which is, I would say, just as weird. Like Shepard mentioned, so much CC on the other side. The Phobia's displacement as well. But, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the land of dawn. You can see the Garuda wings of MPL Indonesia to fly us into this world. Edith, too, right there to welcome us.
Let's see, will RRQ take game 2 to equalize, or Will Geek double their lead? A boy mid with the Kimmy. Let's see if this guy can make it happen again.
Who are you to shred as the alpha? Usually you see a Baksha on the other side, you know, a tanky boy like a Gatot even, and then you say, sure, let's go alpha, let's shred him. Kids, Suyo isn't tanky, not that durable. The Phobius, I guess? Kanziski already struggling up top in this 1v1, 1-1, definitely favored in this battle, in this matchup. Pull yourself together as usual. Nothing too crazy. 2 bargain hunters though for Geek Fam. 2 inspires too. Beloyski in the mid lane. I actually thought it was going to be the Zask for a boy. They went for a more meta pick.
Yeah, it seems like they do not want to take that risk just yet. Kenzie though, great spot, right? Already pops his Purify, so that's just Kenzie. Got to play it very, very carefully in the lanes. A quick setup in the bottom side though, but Dyron, for now, is able to space out from that threat.
I just really love the understanding of Geek Fam as to like how the individual matchups play out. They know that they can't go up top in the gold lane to help Harith. Harith in this lane, for the most part, is just going to be there to farm up. So instead, they rotate down below to get Prio for Gobs, who's also in a losing matchup against a CC, giving Gobs some more space to breathe, and now he doesn't get punished as much as he should have in the early game while going up against the CC.
Okay, now, both teams just touching and going, trying to trigger spells before the first hurdles. Of course, it's going to be RRQ here, moving as a unit, 4-man rotating towards the mid to get that mid prio.
Yeah, good Prio. Rin's already zoning the back again. Gobs able to get level 4, but a boy isn't level 4 just yet. Tyrant
turtle, perfect for Geek Fam. Oh, this is gonna be tougher as we get into the mid game.
Jakarta International Velodrome is silent, ladies and gentlemen, knowing that, again, minute 8 RRQ behind 5,000. Let's see, 2 items for Toy. Once he gets the third item, I feel like, okay, RRQ can definitely get creative, and I think they need to get that creative play ASAP. Geek Fam, all they need to do is just stay solid, keep it tight. They should enter the late game later on with a healthy foundation.
Sigani, I don't even think so. I think 3 items still. RRQ won't be able to really do much. This is a tanky lineup again. Now that they're so far ahead, even tankier for Beloyski and Gobs. You jump around like that, Gobs is going to shoulder bash you. Gobs is going to displace you. You're going to have to use skill 2 for someone. One of the CCs, and they have overwhelming CC, as Shepard pointed out. Fraction pulse, immobilization field with skill 2 of the Kimmy again, and then make hits with a blade surge. Phobias with almost everything in his kit. Last but not least, the Badang. One skill 2 from 1-1, you try to fly and then you die. Beloyski up top, traction pulse over the range. He doesn't go for the Crimson Beacon, he does in the end. But he loses a lot of HP. And RRQ can't even trade with the Alpha. Now they go on to two-man Dark Wave. That's it.
RRQ trying to position themselves very, very carefully. Also as Geek Fam, same. But the mid here, at least RRQ, they have cleared their wave. So as it stands, 9 minutes in, even though they're behind 6,000 gold, their mid turret still stands.
5,000 gold lead, Lord number 1 spawning into Land of Dawn, ladies and gentlemen. The Fallen Kings might fall even deeper. Heck, dog. The AOG just to defend a turret that will fall anyways. Geek Fam, they put RRQ in a position very desperate already in the 10th minute of the game.
All Geek Fam needs to do is just stay strong, you know, don't blunder, don't overextend, and let's see here, it's, okay, eventually, the mid turret falls, RRQ now, trying to defend.
Oh, God! Again with the Dark Wave, Beloyski with the 8, crossbow up tank, 3 items, win cons all around, but it does not matter! The Kingslayers are on the Kingdom doors.
Geek Fam again applying more pressure with the Lord relatively healthy in the bottom side, and it seems like it's going to be 8,000 gold lead already. RRQ, is this it for game 2?
They're not even knocking on the gates of the Kingdom. They are barging in. Base turret taking down the boy up top, flying away already. Edok, chunk to half.
Oh my God. Lord touches the bottom side of the turret. RRQ now, they can hit the reset button. But Geek Fam, they are satisfied already. Almost 10k gold lead and mid turret cracked. All they need to do now is just keep, again, just don't blunder, don't overextend. Especially for Beloy and as well as Gobs, their frontliners. But Kenziski, I'm sure his farm is already great. Heading towards the late game, Harith, full item. That's a nasty, nasty Harith.
The Phobius,
this season for Gobs has been tremendous. This is his favorite pick in the regular season. He does really well on it, and you finally get to see it here in the playoffs because for some reason, we haven't seen it. Real-time victory rate, the opposite of the audience prediction. Samsung Galaxy S25 series brings you this 77 to 23% of RRQ. I'd go as far as to say that it's more 85 to 90%. Looking at, again, RRQ's composition that needs to win early. This is a Geek Fam outscaling composition already that's winning in the early game. Now a pin down onto E-Dog and AOG defensively. Gob has Flicker into
the jungles of RRQ. Keep in mind, Miracle, yesterday it was RRQ and Onyx 85 to 15, the AI prediction.
Yep.
And it was 15. Onyx finds the comeback. So, perhaps will it be the same story here for RRQ? Will they find the angle for a comeback?
Are you talking about the Tigreal E-Dog? Is that the game?
That was that was Onyx defending. The 15%.
Oh, traction pulls up. What? Curtain call on him. Flicker out again. No damage. Traction play coming down as well in the back line. Geek Fam crumbling. 15% is all RRQ needs. Geek Fam. What was that? Tyrant caught by the dark wave. Now they go all in. Taunt from Edo.
That's going to be RRQ collapsing onto his cars. 3 members of Geek Fam down.
Oh, no. Oh boy, and Kenziski with a massive blunder.